The clouds have rolled back in, and down to the south, we've actually got a little bit of light rain. Along and south of the state line this evening, there will be a chance of it. Harrison right now reporting some light rain, and those light showers, you can see everything generally tracking from west to east. I don't think it's going to get too far north of the state line, and I do think that we stay dry here in the Springfield area. Temperatures tonight stay above freezing, 41 at 8 o'clock, upper 30s by midnight. I think toward tomorrow morning, we're actually looking at the risk of some fog with readings in the mid to upper 30s. That fog could be locally dense. I'll show you where that risk will be greatest. That's in your forecast coming up. Color 10 News at 5 starts now.
Now from Ozarks First, you're watching Color 10 News at 5.
The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Joe Biden is now the 46th president of the United States. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Lewis.
Good to have you along here at 5 this evening. I'm David Oliver. President Biden was sworn in this morning. Then he delivered his inaugural speech to a much smaller crowd than usual, of course, scaled back because of COVID-19 and security concerns. History was made when Kamala Harris raised her hand to take the oath of office as well, becoming the first woman and person of color to now serve as the U.S. Vice President.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
It was an historic moment there on the Capitol steps, not lost on even the youngest viewers of the ceremony.
When I get older, I'm going to be a vice president.
And today, our David Chasanoff visited a local classroom that watched the inauguration ceremony live on TV. I'm curious, what do those students have to say about it all, David?
Well, David, I spoke to kids ranging from 6 to 11 years old, and some say they wish they could have been there, and others say seeing Kamala Harris meant a lot.
Feels special because it's the first black vice president. And it's a woman. She has different cultures than most of the presidents that have been elected and most of the vice presidents.
And you just heard from Deidre McBride, who was a student at the Discovery Center's Learning Support Care program while watching the inauguration. Some kids clapped for the president, Joe Biden, when his name was called. One girl even raised her hand while Kamala Harris was being sworn in as vice president. McBride's sister, Diazalyn, says she wants to have that same job one day.
Because then we could help the community. I think it would be good because if I help people, then they'll be happy and they'll help me.
Biden is going to be a really good president for us all. He is really kind and sweet, and he made a really good speech today.
And some other kids say they couldn't believe Jennifer Lopez was there and they wish they could meet her. And I also spoke with a teacher at the Discovery Center who made sure to talk to her students about respect today. And she says it's important to say what is kind, true, and necessary, since other kids may have different political views, and a special ceremony like an inauguration can be emotional. And you can hear more from her tonight at 6 o'clock.
David Chasanoff, thanks. Well, on his first day in office, President Joe Biden is signing 17 executive actions. Now, 15 of those are going to be executive orders, some of which reverse decisions made by his predecessor, President Donald Trump.
We want to bring in Color 10's political analyst, Dr. Brian Calfano. Brian, is it unusual for a new president to sign this many actions on day one?
It really is, Heather and David. I mean, in terms of the number, and it seems as though the trend is for presidents to come into office and not wait for Congress, and there's good reason for that. Congress tends to take a while to get something done. When a president campaigns on bringing action to address a problem in the way that Biden has when it comes to COVID and some of the other policies Democrats did not like from the Trump era, these executive actions, executive orders, particularly if they reverse what a prior administration had done, quite popular.
Brian, let me ask you also tonight, we're curious about the next stimulus package. You know, the president laid out last week his plans to give the American folks more money and perhaps $1,400 more in stimulus money. A lot of folks want to know how that's going to affect their pocketbook. How fast do you expect the president to move on his ideas behind that next stimulus plan?
Well, he's going to move as fast as he can, David, but I have some bad news. I'm not sure Congress is going to move as fast as we all would like. And the reason for that is because politically, I don't see how Republicans in the Senate can get behind a $1.9 trillion package at this point, given the way our politics have come down essentially in this country. I think in the end, you're going to have a scaled down package that's going to be able to pass, maybe with just those stimulus payments by themselves, not attached to all the rest of those items that Biden laid out. There's just no way politically McConnell and the Republicans, who still have essentially half the Senate to work with, are going to let that kind of package get through. I just don't see it happening in the near future.
And Brian, we heard that President Trump left President Biden a letter at the White House. Does that surprise you? And do you think that we'll ever know what was in that letter?
You know, it surprises me, but not entirely. I think President Trump really got too much of a bad rap in terms of being abrasive and sort of the way his critics would characterize him as being someone who was just unhinged, or whatever the terms were that they were using. Certainly, Trump had a much different political style than we're used to seeing in this country. But there are moments of grace even in the Trump presidency, and I think one of them was leaving that note. And I think that should be evidence for people. And again, President Biden said it was a gracious, generous note himself. So, I mean, this wasn't as though Trump left some kind of insulting message for the incoming president. And it was something I think that shows that Trump really was a little more misunderstood than some of his opponents, I think, took understanding of during his 4 years in office.
All right, Dr. Brian Calfano, thank you for your perspective. Inauguration festivities are not over yet. Tom Hanks is set to host an all-star primetime special tonight.
The 90-minute show called Celebrating America will feature appearances by President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
And performances from Bon Jovi, Demi Lovato, and Justin Timberlake.
You can watch Celebrating America tonight at 7:30 right here on Color 10.
Catch you up on news from around the Ozarks now, and making news now. Policy changes are being made at the Springfield Police Department with hopes of hiring the next generation of qualified officers. Let's go live to Bailey Stroll, who's outside the station tonight as the chief looks at ways to attract new recruits. Good evening.
Thanks, Heather and David. The department is down 33 out of more than 350 officers right now, with another 7 set to retire in the coming weeks. The chief tells me it takes a toll, staffing shortages does, on the officers, but also on public safety. Experts say in today's world, there just aren't as many people willing to put on the uniform.
It's been a daunting task, to say the least, when it comes to civil unrest, when it comes to COVID-19, when it comes to national disasters. All the things, you guys are on the front lines.
A harsh reality for new recruits across the state is what Governor Mike Parson reminded newly inducted Highway Patrol troopers this morning. But at the local level, Springfield Police Chief Paul Williams says he's facing major staffing challenges in 2021.
We've weathered the negative storm around policing in the country very well here by continuing to attract recruits. It's finally caught up to us now, if you will, that we're starting to see less applicants and less qualified applicants.
Only 5 of 30 spots have been filled for the department's next academy, which has been postponed until this spring.
Regardless, even if we were able to get 10 or 15, we'd still be 25, 30 people down for the rest of the year.
Chief Williams says the department hasn't lowered its standards, but has relaxed certain requirements, including its tattoo policy.
The very simple change is we're going to allow an officer to wear a short sleeve shirt if he or she has arm tattoos.
While ink above the shoulders and anything objectionable still isn't allowed.
If it encourages someone to strike up a conversation or ask comparing tattoos, for example, I think that's a good thing.
And as of this week, new officers' salaries will be higher than ever.
Starting pay for a police officer in Springfield is now over $40,000 a year. That's kind of a threshold we've been trying to get to, and we're there now.
So as many aspects of a career in local law enforcement change, one fact remains the same.
You are a public servant, no more, no less.
Now, Williams says there's also been discussions on relaxing the policy on marijuana use before officers join the force. Right now, the Springfield Police Department only accepts those who have not had any cannabis in the last 3 years before applying. The chief tells me today that he's looking at a way to shorten that timeline in the future. Reporting in Springfield, Bailey Stroll, Ozarks First.
All right, Bailey Stroll tonight. Thanks. A nearly record-breaking Powerball jackpot is waiting tonight for perhaps one lucky winner.
and I would share a lot of this money with other people that needed it probably even more than I do.
A lot of people daydreaming today. Just how much money you could win tonight, that's up next.
You're watching Color 10 News, Ozarks First with David Oliver. Heather Lewis. Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner. This is Color 10 News at 5.
Well, happening now at 5, another huge drawing is up for grabs in tonight's Powerball with a jackpot of $730 million.
Color 10's Jacob Blunt is joining us live from Branson. Jacob, have you bought your tickets yet?
Yes, Heather, you guys know me so well. Of course I did. I actually have both tickets in hand right here. One for the Powerball drawing tonight and another one for the Mega Millions, which will be drawn this Friday. And I know, yes, the Powerball jackpot is already a huge, ridiculous number, but the jackpot for Mega Millions is going to be $970 million, which will be the third largest in U.S. lottery history. Now, even though the odds of winning the Powerball tonight, the grand prize, are less than 1 in 292 million, don't worry, because you can still win some of the prizes. There are actually 9 different ways someone could win either the Powerball or the Mega Millions, ranging from winning $2 to $4 all the way to winning hundreds of millions of dollars in the grand prize. Cindy Hudlow purchased her tickets earlier today.
But I always wish that somebody would win, like everybody would win $10 million, and there would be a whole lot of people that won, enough money to make their lives a changing in their lives, instead of one person winning like this crazy amount that, you could never spend in your lifetime.
Now, the $730 million jackpot tonight will be the 4th highest in Powerball history, and it will be the 6th largest total in U.S. lottery history. Reporting live from Branson, this is Jacob Blunt, Ozarks First.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Temperatures may still be pretty cold out there, but at least we have some sunshine in store for the next few days. Jamie's up next with how long that'll last and when we can expect our next round of winter weather.
And now weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Well, we enjoyed some morning sunshine, but the clouds have rolled back into the area. Kind of interesting this evening, too, if you've stepped outside and you've looked at those clouds. We actually sort of have a wavy appearance to the bottom side. That's undulatus, and that cloud deck actually generating some light rain off to the south down near areas of northern Arkansas. Temperatures currently falling back through the 40s. Here's a look at the sunset. I talked about this yesterday. Today, we were exactly 5 months out from the start of summer, that longest day of the year. So if you don't like cold weather, you don't like these shorter days, again, we're only 5 months away from the start of the summer season, and just want to show you how the days are going to be getting longer and longer, and that's reflected here in the later sunsets, especially after we go back to daylight saving time in March. You can see we go from near 6 o'clock on the 20th for sunset in February to almost 7:30 on the 20th of March. Getting back to that wet weather we've got to contend with down to the south, you can see some light rain spreading across northern Arkansas. This is going to be a very quick burst of light rain, and then it heads off to the east out of the area. It looks like that risk for light rain will continue probably through about mid-evening, maybe mid to late evening, before it exits off to the east. And I don't think it's going to get too far north of the state line. I can't rule out maybe a little light rain, maybe in areas like Branson and Gainesville and West Plains, especially further southeast down toward the Koshkonong area. But most locations should stay dry, even north of the state line. And then once you get north of the towns that I just listed, it will stay dry overnight tonight. And clouds will thin out later tonight. And as the clouds thin out, that will open up the possibility of some fog. And I think we're going to be looking at a foggy start to our Thursday in many areas from northwest Arkansas into southwest Missouri, and then stretching northeast up toward Lake of the Ozarks. You can see that initial front kind of falls apart. We've got another one, though, that will move in as we head through Thursday night, and that will make for a colder finish to our work week. As far as Thursday is concerned, we start off foggy with some low cloudiness, but that will give way to mostly sunny conditions. And I think tomorrow afternoon is going to be very much like what we experienced this morning. Not too bad out there if you've been yearning for more sunshine. Here's a look at the lows tonight. Temperatures should stay above freezing. Looks like about 36 for a low here in Springfield. And as far as that fog risk, I think this model is doing a pretty good job of outlining the areas that have the highest potential for fog and maybe dense fog. Areas from Fayetteville, right up I-49 through Joplin up toward Nevada and east, even including the Springfield area. Probably as far east as places like Marshfield, and then maybe stretching up toward Lake of the Ozarks. So that could be a travel concern early in the day on Thursday. Otherwise, again, looking for the clouds to thin out with afternoon readings in the mid-50s. Now, Thursday night into Friday, looks like we'll see another round of high cloudiness overnight Thursday night, but it will move out, and we're looking at a beautiful day on Friday. It will be chilly, but we're looking at a lot of sunshine, especially once we get to late morning and into the afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow night will dip into the 20s. Looks like about 27 for a low here in Springfield, with highs in the 40s on Friday, about 44 for a high here in Springfield. The pattern does turn wetter this weekend into next week. There's a couple of different storms that are on the horizon for us. The first one will move through, I think, Sunday through Monday. There's a look at the timeline there. That's 5 o'clock Sunday. It looks like we'll see light showers possibly as early as late Saturday night. Certainly some showers possible during the day on Sunday. And more of a steady rain developing, I think, Sunday night into Monday. It looks like there may be enough cold air where it could end as a light wintry mix, especially closer to central Missouri. Mostly cloudy and cold on Tuesday, and then the next storm follows in quick order, and it looks like we could see a risk for rain or snow showers on Wednesday, depending on how cold conditions are as that storm moves in.
We are getting closer to February, though, and
Yes,
that
we
means
are.
we're getting closer to spring. All right, Jamie, thanks.
Well, coming up next, the latest on COVID-19 deaths and vaccine efforts from local health departments.
Stay right here. The latest now on COVID-19 in the Ozarks. The Springfield Greene County Health Department says tonight that 37 COVID-19 deaths were reported between Wednesday, January 13th, and yesterday, the 19th. The youngest was a man in his 40s with no underlying health conditions. The oldest was a woman in her 100s. The health department says all but one of the individuals had underlying health conditions, and 18 were associated with long-term care. This brings the county's death toll now to 364.
The Christian County Health Department is looking for volunteers. The department posted a sign-up link on its Facebook page. There, you have to fill out all of your contact information and select how you would like to volunteer. Options include greeting visitors at the door, helping with check-in, or cleaning surfaces between clients. Registered and licensed practitioner nurses are also invited to volunteer and could be approved to administer vaccines.
Well, during this very busy day in our nation's capital, a news team captured a pretty sweet moment between a little boy and the National Guard.
Up next, we'll tell you why the young man just had to talk to the soldiers and what he gave them.
But first, what you'll see with CBS News tonight at 5:30.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, history is made. Joe Biden is sworn in as the 46th president of the United States and delivers a message of hope to a reeling nation. Plus, Kamala Harris breaks through the glass ceiling as she becomes the highest-ranking woman in American history. Her inspiring story tonight. And from Gaga to Garth, sights and sounds of an inauguration unlike any other. That's all tonight here on the CBS Evening News.
One little boy in Washington, D.C. wanted to make sure the soldiers guarding the Capitol knew they were appreciated.
4-year-old Kavi Sadar brought the National Guard members a plate of cookies. His mom says it was all his idea.
Make cookies for the soldiers since they protected our neighborhood.
That's so cool. What did they give you?
This pack.
Very cool.
Kylie's mom says her son doesn't entirely understand why the soldiers are there, but it's exciting for him. And of course, he just wanted to tell them thank you.
A moving image there, indeed. That is for sure. Jamie, maybe a little rain to our south, you said?
Yeah, this evening, quick shot at some showers. The rest of the week looks dry, and it also looks brighter. We need more sunshine because we've got a long stretch of cloudy days ahead of us starting on Sunday.
All right, we'll have more news, weather, and sports coming up right after the CBS Evening News.
Good night for now.